Okay, so now that we've imported the logos into our project, we can do a quick experiment to see if we can show them on the screen. So what we are going to do in this experiment is to add a new image to this page, and we're going to add it just after our last button over here. So here we can introduce a new asset called image, and image has a number of different constructors, and the one that we need to use to load an asset from file is called asset. Here we need to pass the name of the asset. In our case, we were going to use images/google-logo.png. And if we hot reload now, we can see that this Google image appears on the page. Okay, so this is interesting, but ultimately what we want to do is to add the image inside our button to the side of the text over here. Okay, so I think that a first step towards that is to see if we can show this image inside the button. And one thing that I want to point out is that this image class is actually a widget. And if you remember, when we created the custom raised button class, we specified that its child property is a widget. So the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that if we want, we can create a custom raised button and pass an image as a child. And we can do this very quickly because all we have to do is to wrap our image asset into a new widget, and this is going to be a custom raised button, like this. Next, we need to remember that our custom raised button takes a color and a callback. So here we can type color, and then here we can have colors.white, and then the onPressed callback, and as usual we can use an empty callback like this. So if I save here and hot reload, I can see that a new button appears and the image is placed just inside the button. Okay, so one little tweak that I could do at this stage is to take this button and move it just above the Google sign in button, which is up here, and maybe add a little bit of spacing as well. So as usual, sized box with a height of 8, so that I can reload and see how the page updates. Okay, so I think this is a good time to take a pause so that we can highlight what we have just done. So we started off by adding an image to our page, and then we wrapped this image inside a custom raised button. And I think this really shows the power of composition. So perhaps now we understand a little bit better why I've chosen to implement the custom raised button class the way I did. So you see, I have explicitly decided that the custom raised button constructor should take a child widget. And the fact that this is a generic widget and not a text, for example, means that I can put any widget I want as its child. Okay, so if there is a point that I'd like to drive home here, is that building reusable and configurable widgets can be a big win in the long run. Okay, so this is great progress, and we're going to continue in the next video.